Hello, everyone, and welcome to Living Healthy and Aging Well. My name is Ken Haglind, and today is Saturday, February 1st, 2020, and we are broadcasting live from the AM 950 radio station that overlooks beautiful Bryant Lake Regional Park located in Eden Prairie, Minnesota. The sun is shining and our temperature is a balmy 32 degrees today, so we are really excited about that here in Minnesota. We are on the air every Saturday from noon to 1 to talk about your health and your life. We cover a wide range of topics to improve your quality of life, including wellness, health care, elder care, even end-of-life care, and of course, caregiver support. For all the new listeners, the purpose of this radio show is to bring you specialists, experts, and people with a passion for helping others to provide insights and recommendations on how to navigate the complexities of managing both you and your family's health and quality of life. We also have a special focus on our aging population and how we can help you and your loved ones prepare for the various stages of life's transitions. In addition, we provide vital information for the caregivers who are essential in supporting our senior population. We are adding new listeners to the show each week, and thank you for letting us know you are listening by leaving a voice or text message on our radio phone number, which is 612-999-3426. Anytime, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. In fact, last week, we heard from Barry in Roseville. Thank you, Barry. And tell you, Barry, I hope you're doing well today. We also heard from Amanda in Maplewood, Terry in Edina, and Sue and Alyssa are listening online in Nashville, Tennessee. We appreciate hearing from all of you. We welcome your questions, your comments, and suggestions. And please continue to let us know of topics or guests you'd like for us to have on future shows. We are here to help you improve your quality of life. We have another great show for you today. Joining me in studio is Blair Ferguson, Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Now, Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. Now, last week we had on our show a great group of people from UCare. Dr. Julia Joseph DiCaprio, Chief Medical Officer, Adam Nelson, UCare Pharmacy Clinical Manager, and Wendy Wicks, the Communications and Public Relations Consultant. And we talked about the great work they are doing to provide their members a path to the best health of their lives. Now, we received several calls after the show was done asking for their phone number at UCare. So here it is for those of you who are asking for that. It's 612-676-3500. Once again, to get a hold of UCare, which were my guests on the previous show, it's 612-676-3500. Or you can visit them online at ucare.org. All right. Now, there are two ways to get your questions answered today. The first one is calling the radio station and talking to our friendly show producer, Eric Nelson. You'll be able to speak to us live on the air if you call the radio station at 952-946-6205. Or if you prefer, you can directly text us your question to our radio show phone right here in the studio, and that number is 612-999-3426. So to remember, to ask your question live on the air, call the station at 952-946-6205 or text us your question at 612-999-3426. Now, please, folks, don't wait until the show has ended to text me your question, because we receive several of the same questions after the show is done. So give us a text or call in and talk to Eric, and we'll get your questions answered. All right. Now, you can find all of our shows on the AM 950 website by going to the AM 950 radio homepage and clicking the on-demand button and then clicking on our show logo, Living Healthy and Aging Well. All right. Great show on tap for you today. You've heard me talk about this almost every show. We have an aging population. We're all getting older. And one of the most important things for us is to maintain our independence. We see this constantly in our medical practice. People want to remain at home for their entire life. People want to die at home. So on this show today, we've got a great guest that does great work in our communities, and we're going to talk about some of the things they can do, the services they have to keep you mobile and independent at home. So I am very, very honored to have Blair Ferguson, who is the Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Now, Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile and independent by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. All right, well, Blair, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, this is going to be a lot of fun because this is a way where people can solve really a couple different problems, maybe even more than that. But the first problem, again, is maintaining safety and accessibility and mobility within their home. But it also gives them a chance to remodel a little bit and make some improvements.
It does.
So there's a couple different great aspects here. So it's going to almost become a little bit of a real estate show here, even though we don't talk as much about real estate here as we do about healthcare and quality of life. But anyway, before we start talking about some of the great things that your organization is doing, let's talk about you. Our audience always loves to hear about the background of the guests that we have on the show. So give us a bit of a background for you and maybe how you ended up getting involved in doing what you're doing here now with Lifeway.
So, Ken, when I was a younger gentleman, I started working as a paramedic, a 911 paramedic in the metro area here. And during the course of that, I got to meet a lot of people, and particularly seniors, that were struggling to stay independent in their home. I had a particular call many years ago, probably the early 90s, of a gal that her home O2 ran out, and that she called the ambulance so that we could bring her oxygen while she waited for somebody to come fill her tank. During that time, I had a chance to talk to her and learn that she had just recently suffered or sustained a stroke and is now struggling with mobility in her home and the steps that led up to her home. And I thought to myself, well, I could build a ramp for her. This is something we could do. And that's kind of tripped this off and started this off in 1991. My wife and I founded a company called Beyond Barriers, and we've been doing it since. I've actually thought this is my passion, this is my purpose. And we've been doing it for 27 years now.
That's amazing. Now, what's so interesting to me is the same issues that we were having nearly 30 years ago we're having now as well, and they're more so because as a society we're all aging, and the various statistics that are out there that 10,000 people a day are retiring in America, and within the next 10 years there'll be more people that are age 65 and older than there are age 18 and younger. So we're shifting. The bell curve of our population ages is shifting dramatically to the older population. And I've had people from the state of Minnesota, the demographics department, and things on the show, and it's a huge issue. I mean, we are looking at a crisis on many fronts with the social services and transportation and healthcare. It almost is overwhelming. And so the things that you are doing are going to make a big difference in helping people, again, maintain that high quality of life by helping serve them in their homes.
You're absolutely correct. The one thing that's not catching up or keeping up with the changing population is our housing market and our housing base. The houses were built for younger families, and now with the population aging, it doesn't work for them.
Yeah, boy, I see that constantly. Even I live in Lakeville, and we have probably the fastest growing community in the state of Minnesota. I mean, I think we were the number one or number two in terms of building permits for residential construction. And there's all these big 2-story with walkouts, essentially 3-story homes. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, that's great for a family with kids, and the two parents maybe are young and can go up and down those stairs and carry loads of laundry and everything else. But I tell you, that housing stock is going to become obsolete unless you come in and install an elevator. And we'll talk about some of the great things that you guys can do in homes. But yeah, I don't think we're necessarily thinking through how to really design homes these days to really allow for aging in place.
We're not. It's getting better. There are some communities that are doing visibility codes into their building codes, but it's not there yet.
Yeah.
We aren't taking the senior population into account, or anybody that has a mobility impairment.
No, that's a great point you bring up. We always think of mobility kind of focused on the aging population or the senior population. But listen, people have disabilities at all ages of life. And sometimes those disabilities can be lifelong, or they can be a very long-term type thing. And I'll tell you, it makes a huge difference. We see it all the time. People have to make really hard housing decisions. Do I have to sell my home? Because they haven't really thought through, how do I navigate? How do I manage? How do I stay here? And many times they just can't.
Absolutely.
And so it drives a significant decision, not only for them, but also for their family on what do they do. So again, we're going to have some great conversations here about this. And so folks, if you have any questions about some of the things that Blair and his team can do for your home, give us a call. We can kind of talk through some of those things on the air here. And we'll get much more into this here in the next 3 segments. But it's time for a short break. We will be right back to continue our conversation with Blair Ferguson. He's the Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile and independent by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. Get your questions ready for when we return from the break. Please stay with us.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. I'm a better neighbor because my service has taught me how important it is to be a team player. My training helps me in my classes when I give attention to detail to the task at hand. My service also allows me to be there for my community in ways others can't. I help my hometown recover after nature strikes. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my country and those I care about safe from threats. I also work with a network of professionals that help me succeed. Also, the Army National Guard's education benefits make getting a higher education a reality. Being an Army National Guard soldier makes living and serving in my community more rewarding every day. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Aired by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
I'm Rick Unger. You've heard the screamers, you've heard the shouters, the haters, the beraters. Well, now it's time to listen to a real conversation, a rational conversation. Now it's time for the Rick Unger Show.
Listen to the Rick Unger Show every weekday from 5 to 7 p.m. on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Stream at am950radio.com or search KTNF on the TuneIn app.
Moe's Tax Service in St. Paul is one of the most successful independently owned tax services in the entire country. They offer a diverse team of highly trained and screened tax preparation experts for personal and business tax needs. This year especially, changes to the tax code make it even more important for you to have someone who is a dedicated tax preparation professional. Moe's has been in the business since 1971. Visit them at moestax.com. That's MOHS tax.com. Or give them a call, 612-721-2026.
Victor's 1959 Cafe in South Minneapolis is a locally owned and operated restaurant offering traditional Cuban food. Open for breakfast and lunch daily with dinner Tuesday through Saturday. For night shift workers, Victor's even has both a morning and evening happy hour, and Victor's now accepts dinner reservations too. Stop in and try some delicious authentic Cuban cuisine like ropa vieja and seafood paella. Make your reservation and learn more at victors1959cafe.com. Victor's 1959 Cafe, revolutionary Cuban cooking.
The AM 950 2020 Blues Day Ball is on Sunday, February 23rd at Bauhaus Brew Labs in Minneapolis. We're celebrating AM 950's 15th year. The VIP event will take place from noon until 1 with a meet and greet with Tom Hartman, plus all the local hosts. General admission is from 1 until 4 p.m. and expect a lot of political guests. And all tickets get a signed copy of Tom Hartman's latest book. Get tickets now. VIP $75, general admission $40. You get them at am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com. The 2020 Blues Day Ball, Sunday, February 23rd.
Welcome back. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio of AM 950 is Blair Ferguson. Now, Blair is the Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. Now, we're going to get into much more about the services and the solutions they provide here in just a few minutes. But before we get back into that conversation, I want to mention that this radio program is brought to you in part each week by Minnesota Hospice. Minnesota Hospice is an independent, physician-owned medical practice serving local Minnesota communities for over 12 years with innovative and comprehensive end-of-life health care. If you have any questions regarding end-of-life care or support, please contact the compassionate team of experts at Minnesota Hospice at 952-898-1022 or visit them online at minnesotahospice.com. Now, we get several questions every week about hospice, and we're going to do some shows just dedicated to that because it's so important. People do not understand, number one, that it's the best value in healthcare because you've already prepaid for this. If you're a Medicare beneficiary, your end of life or your hospice care is already paid for, and the care that you can get is phenomenal. A team of people come to you where you live and help take care of you. So please, if you have any questions about end of life or hospice care, call them, 952-898-1022. Also, this program is brought to you by the team at Genetic Health RX. Now, these people are amazing. They help you find out which medications you should be taking based upon your unique genetic profile. So they specialize in taking a DNA sample from you inside of your cheek with a swab. It's very, very simple. It's pain-free. And what they do is they send that to the lab. And the lab identifies what medications you can take that you're able to actually process. They call it how do you metabolize these medications. And they do it based upon your unique genetic profile. The key here is you want to avoid medications that your body just cannot use because you don't have the genetic profile to process those drugs. And by doing that, you can avoid potential negative drug side effects. So the team at Genetic Health RX provides your doctor with a report, an easy-to-read report that tells you which drugs will work with you and which drugs will not. So again, give the genetic team, the team at Genetic Health RX a call and have them schedule you for a easy, simple, and the test does not cost you anything. Medicare pays for it, and so do most insurance companies. But call the team at Genetic Health RX. Call them today and talk to one of their experts. You can reach them at 612-991-9930. Once again, 612-991-9930. And this test is free if you're a Medicare beneficiary. And get that test done. It can be life-saving. Also, and lastly here, hey, I want to make sure that I talk about this. We get a lot of calls here about the Sano Wellness Clinic in Bloomington. Listen, if you're struggling with chronic health issues and you want to say, I got to change this thing here, here's the thing. You regularly get your vision checked, you get your hearing checked, you get your teeth checked, probably twice a year, I hope, along with other annual exams. But have you ever considered getting your brain checked? Listen, your brain processes everything in your entire body. And if the brain is not working well or optimally, you're going to have other issues in your body. So find out how well your brain is working by making an appointment with Dr. Christine Stevie. She is the founder of Sano Wellness Center and has been providing these services for over 17 years. Mention you heard this on my radio show, and they will give you a 50% discount on their brain assessment services. I've had this done, and it is phenomenal, the information you get with their brain assessment services. Their phone number is 952-681-2916. Once again, 952-681-2916. Or visit them online at sanowc.com. That's spelled SANOWC.com. So remember, when your brain is working, your body responds. So give them a call and get your brain assessed with Dr. Christine Stevie. All right, Blair, let's get back into this conversation. I'm just so excited about having you here today because we find that so many people want to stay at home. They want to enjoy the home that they've raised their children in, that they've lived in for 30, 40, 50 years. Sometimes we find people who this was their parents' home that they grew up in, and they ended up staying, living there when their parents left. And so there's a lot of great memories, a lot of comfort of living in their home, and the services you provide can help them not only with staying in the home, but also enjoying the home. And so let's get started here. But first, if people do have questions for you or want more information, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Probably either visit our website at lifewaymobility.com or call us at 651-462-3444.
Great. And we are going to give out that phone number throughout the show, folks. So if you don't get it here, after every segment, we'll give it out again. All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about, who generally are your clients? Who is the people that are seeking your services in general?
It's almost broad-based on the population. It's seniors, it's care providers, it's parents with children that have disabilities, it's persons with mobility impairments themselves. So it's just about everybody in the population and family members of those people.
Well, and we're finding that a lot of the decisions being made by families in transition periods, I call them, when a person either maybe has a health event or they've fallen and they've hurt themselves and they've had surgery and they come back, and that's kind of the first taste of, I wonder if our house is designed to keep mom or dad or a loved one in the home and do it safely. And so people just tend to not really think about, is my home, because I've lived there for so long, they're almost house blind. They just don't realize all the maybe safety issues, trip hazards, accessibility issues that are there. Do you provide consults at all, or if people have questions and say, can you come out and help me? I'm trying to figure out how I can keep mom or dad in the house longer. Is that something that they could reach out to you guys and get information on?
Absolutely. One of the biggest obstacles that people face is lack of knowledge. They don't know where to go to get help. They don't know what's available to put in their home. And what's really key is if you look at something as simple as a stair lift, the way it's installed and how it's used can make a huge difference on the individual. It may work for some, it may not work for others. So they really need somebody to come in, talk to them, and more importantly, listen to them, find out what their goals are, and then make some realistic, economical solutions for them. We do that by offering a free consultation. We'll come into their home. We're not there to be a pushy salesman. We're there to actually learn about what they're trying to do and make some solutions.
Fantastic, Blair. We're going to talk more about that on the next segment. Listen, folks, get your questions ready here. We're going to continue talking to Blair Ferguson, Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. So please stay with us.
You can't go through a day without hearing about healthcare reform. St. Paul Corner Drug is here to help you navigate the ever-changing healthcare landscape. We are your advocate in getting much-needed prescription medication covered under your insurance plan. Need to choose a different plan? There is no reason to feel like you are drowning in the system. St. Paul Corner Drug can make simple work out of finding you a plan that best suits your needs. You can rest assured at St. Paul Corner Drug, pharmacy the way it should be.
This is Chad, owner of AM 950. I've been telling you about my friends at Snap Construction, who are arguably the most well-reviewed exterior construction company in the metro. Don't just take my word for it. Take a look at all their reviews online. Winter is the most cost-effective time of the year to complete your construction project. A majority of Minnesotans choose to have their work completed on their home in the summer when they should be enjoying the weather. As a result, the demand for labor in the summer is much higher. The most cost-effective way to improve or restore your home is in the winter due to the lower demand. Right now, Snap Construction is offering an additional 30% off of labor to the AM 950 listeners on your next construction project between now and the end of February. Call 612-333-SNAP and mention AM950 for an additional 30% off. As always, Snap Construction stands by their work with a lifetime craftsmanship warranty. Don't wait to get a free estimate by calling 612-333-SNAP or find them online at snapconstruction.com. Financing options available.
Supporting the best local and independently owned restaurants in the Twin Cities has never been easier. You'll find an expansive list of local dining options at eatlocalminnesota.com, from classic American comfort food to authentic flavors from around the world. Cafe Latte offers made-from-scratch soups, salads, sandwiches, and mouth-watering desserts. Stop in the wine bar and enjoy a unique pizza loaded with fresh vegetables and perfectly roasted meats. Over 30 wines by the glass, Cafe Latte highlights Washington State wines and is the perfect destination for date night or an evening with friends. 850 Grand Avenue, St. Paul. Victor's 1959 Cafe has been serving South Minneapolis traditional Cuban food for over 15 years. Victor's is open for breakfast and lunch daily and now accepts dinner reservations too. Stop in and try the Pollo Tropicale or the Sandwich Cubano, which was featured on Food Network. More at eatlocalminnesota.com.
Hey, it's Brett from the 4 p.m. show for Zero Res, and I want to congratulate you on surviving the holidays. But now, what about that holiday mess? Don't just make a New Year's resolution about cleaning your carpets. Call Zero Res now for their holiday hangover sale, where you can get 3 rooms Zero Res cleaned starting at only $119. But you have to mention AM 950 when you call. That's 952 Zero Res, or visit ZeroResMinnesota.com and then mention AM 950. Zero Res, spell it backward or forward, it spells the same.
With your AM 950 weather, this is Eric Nelson. Today will be mostly cloudy with the high near 37. Tonight, the clouds continue and temperatures rise to around 39. Sunday will be sunny with a high of 42 and a low around 25. Monday will be cloudy with a high of 29 and a low of 15. The 2020 Blue State Ball is right around the corner, and this year we're doing things a little differently. Less formal ball and more fun beer bash, taking place Sunday, February 23rd at the Bauhaus Brew Labs in Minneapolis. Come celebrate beating Trump and 15 years of AM 950. Get your tickets now at am950radio.com.
All right. Welcome back, folks. You are listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio of AM 950 is Blair Ferguson. He's the Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Now, Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. And in fact, we were just talking off the air that I've heard, and Blair has experienced this, that many people have not had access to parts of their home for several years, in fact. And what Blair and his team can do is give you back that access to the workshop downstairs or the craft room or the bathrooms upstairs. We're going to talk more about that and some of the products and solutions they have here in a few minutes. But Blair, before we get back into that, would you let our audience know how they can get a hold of you if they have any questions or want more information?
Well, our website's available at lifewaymobility.com, or you can call us locally at 651-462-3444.
All right. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's talk about some of the value that you bring to your clients. We talked about before how when someone has a need and they reach out to you, you come in, help with a consultation, you listen very carefully to what their needs are, and as you expressed here on the break, your goal is to help educate them on the various products and solutions that are out there. Most people just aren't aware of what these new and innovative products are that can help them with access and safety and mobility inside their homes.
Absolutely, and that's really key, is understanding what products are available, what products are the best solution for them, and then particularly for the environment that they're currently in. All three of those need to be taken into consideration.
So what are, I guess, frequently asked questions, or what are the general concerns that people have when they do reach out to you and say, boy, pick a situation, they've fallen, they've broken their hip, they got a long recovery process, they need to get access to their home, the bathroom, the shower, the laundry room, all the different things that make a home, livable. What are some of the concerns or thoughts that they have when they first meet with you?
A very common concern is, what is the cost? And we help navigate that by looking at it from a broader perspective. Something as simple as a stair lift installed could be the low 3,000s for a new stair lift installed. And if you're looking at the alternatives of assisted living or another option like that, that's a fraction of the cost. The other thing is even if you were to consider to move, the cost of moving and the fees to sell your house and purchase a new location are going to be far more than that. So sometimes it is more economical to stay in your home than it is to actually move and relocate.
Well, and you guys do a great job of help modifying and looking at the big picture. A lot of times people have a home, they've been in for years, they've raised a family, it's served its purpose wonderfully with that part of their life. But now maybe the kids are gone, it may be just the two people, maybe it's one person. They still want to be in that home. They want to enjoy that home and all the memories that come along with that. And for you to come in and develop, make maybe just some minor modifications, or you can make major modifications, because a lot of times people, it's not just the home, it's the neighborhood, it's the community, it's the things in that community, and that's what really drives them to stay there if at all possible.
Absolutely. They're a member of that community. They want to retain and stay there. We can do something as simple as a ramp. We can do stair lifts. Anything up to putting additions on the home or making a master bedroom bathroom.
Yeah, and I think especially sometimes now with so many services now can come out to the home. You may have therapies that come out, occupational therapy, physical therapy, to help people in the recovery process. Our medical system is doing a great job trying to keep people from readmitting back into the hospital after major events or major surgeries. So they're trying that. So it also helps to have just allowing access for the people that can come into the home. And I'm seeing more and more of a trend, just like in our practice, our whole team goes out to the home at different points, not the whole team at the same time, but people at different times. And just to have even access so people can do the therapy or can help support a person in a home, just having it designed so it can accommodate that easier can be a big benefit.
Absolutely. And I think the key word you used there is team. I'd like to think that we're the solution to keeping people independent in their home, and we're only part of the solution. It needs to be a team approach with all the other healthcare providers out there.
Yeah. No, as we kind of move, we're kind of back in the good old days. The doctor made house calls with a little black briefcase or a medicine case, and we're going back to that world now. I see community paramedicine, community outreach, community services. Is really where we're going, because people just cannot get out of their homes and get to the doctor's office conveniently or safely anymore. So we're going to have more and more that are coming to the home. And the longer we can keep people in the home, the better it's going to be for everybody. Now you say cost-wise, going from a home to an assisted living can be a real sticker shock for people. I mean, if you're going to go into a quality assisted living home or facility, community, it's going to be $100,000 a year. So if you can forestall that by a year or two, that makes a big difference in what people can do for retirement and for maintaining their lifestyle throughout their lives.
Absolutely. And if you can make modifications in your home for a fraction of that cost, it pays for itself almost immediately.
Yeah. But what a great return on your investment. And again, when a person does eventually sell their home and they've got it accommodating for wider areas or easier access, that increases the value of their property as well.
Well, keep in mind the market determines the value of your home, and that market and population is aging.
Right, exactly. Well, I'm looking at your product brochure here, which is done very nicely. Let's talk about some of the different products we have in this segment, so people get a better idea of maybe some of the questions they could ask, or have you come out and talk to them about solutions in their home.
So the first thing we look at is gaining access in and out of your home, making sure that you can get in and out of your home safely. That's typically done or commonly can be done with ramps. A lot of people have a misperception of what a ramp is or what it takes to build a ramp. And just real quick, for every inch of rise we're going up, we need about 9 to 12 inches of run or ramp to do that. There are other solutions like vertical platform lifts and outdoor stair lifts that we can do locally. Second priority in the home is bathrooms. Getting access to the bathroom and making it safe. A lot of people struggle with getting in and out of the tub or even lifting their foot up over the edge of the tub. We can do something as simple as a tub cut, and we actually cut the side of the tub away, fill it in, and create a shower out of that. That's an inexpensive solution that may temporarily solve their needs. We can go as far as removing that bathtub and put in a barrier-free shower. Or, if they want, a walk-in tub. But again, a walk-in tub might not be the perfect solution for everybody, even though it's marketed as such on most of the media.
I've heard that as well. Yeah. It's a cold place to be when the water's draining and you're sitting there.
It meets it. For some people, it's the right solution, but for some, it's not. And that's what we help people understand is what's the right solution for them.
I'm glad you brought that about the bath, though, because we've run across people that even defer hygiene, just normal, proper hygiene, because it's a struggle and they're afraid. They don't want to have that fall again, and that fall occurred in the bathroom because it's wet, it's slippery, it's not really designed to accommodate people that may have an extra need there. So again, it's just a part of quality of life and making sure you maintain a healthy balance.
Absolutely. The other area that people struggle a lot with is transitioning from one level to another. An example would be is going upstairs or downstairs, like we mentioned earlier. Getting a stair lift. Again, they're not that expensive for a basic stair lift. And then we can do custom curves. We can fit almost any staircase out there. So there's solutions and options available that we can educate people about.
Now, I want people to understand this, though. You guys can actually install, when you say a lift, or it's almost like a miniature elevator, or it's an open elevator. Explain more about some of those options. I've seen some very unique things in homes that people have done so they can go from level to level, whether they're in a wheelchair or even if they are using a walker and they just can't get up those stairs as well, but they want to be able to get up to that second level. Can you talk about some of those options that you've maybe installed? Absolutely. And I guess the key thing before I get into that too much is understanding how the person's going to use it. Are they walking? Are they being pushed? Are they in a power chair? Are they completely dependent on a care provider? All that dictates what we offer for a solution. But some of the solutions available are exactly like you mentioned, an open platform lift, or it's like an elevator, and it can be placed outside, in the garage. It can be placed in the home. We can put it inside of a shaft, for lack of better terms, and actually go from one level to the other. We can also provide what we call incline platform lifts on the staircase. May or may not work. A lot of the staircases in this area of the country are too narrow, and we don't have the space. But it could actually take somebody in a wheelchair down the steps. And then also we've got elevators and different solutions in that order. Well, and the fact you've been doing this for nearly 30 years, you've probably seen it all, and you get a great perspective on what a person may be looking at. So I really encourage people to call Blair, because he's been doing this for a long time, and he can really bring a sense of experience and understanding of what your needs are. Now, I also see here you talk about transfer lift systems, and those are really, really important in getting people that maybe have limited ADLs or limited ability to get them out of bed or get them in the bathroom or other needs. Talk about those transfer lift systems that you guys have access to. Absolutely. So when somebody becomes very dependent on a care provider for even getting in and out of bed, in and out of a wheelchair or a chair, a lot of times, a lot of people are familiar with the old Hoyer-style lift. Yes. This is similar to that, but it's mounted on the ceiling. The difference is anybody can lift an individual out of bed or out of a chair with this overhead lift system. Where we see it used quite frequently is parents with children that are too heavy to lift, that are high need, and I mean high care need in that sense. But also if you have an elderly couple that want to stay home together and the wife has to care for the husband and she's not strong enough to
lift him and transfer him. This is a safe solution that she may be able to do on her own without assistance.
And to protect her health, because that's what we find happening is a crisis really happens when the caregiver gets hurt taking care of somebody else.
Absolutely.
Then they're really in trouble. So, okay, that's great. Well, we're up against the clock here. It's time for a short break. And we'll be right back here to talk to Blair Ferguson, and we're going to continue to talk about solutions for your home with Blair, who is the Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile and independent by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. Now, here's the thing, folks. Get your questions ready. We have one more segment left here, so if you have a question, please give Eric a call or give us a text, and we'll answer that question when we get back from the break. Please stay with us.
With all the convenient big box stores that sell appliances, why do so many Minnesotans choose Warner Stellian? Check online to learn that Warner Stellian is a Minnesota family-owned business for over 60 years. Warner Stellian sells more brands than anyone else, and our passionate specialists are committed to impressing you so much that you'll refer us to everyone you know. That's our mission here at Warner Stellian. Ask around, check us out online, and when it's your time to buy appliances, join over 300,000 Minnesota homeowners and choose the specialists, Warner Stellian.
Hey, I guess we found a new name for our show.
Really? What's the new name?
Pilot's Progressive Party.
How did you ever come up with that?
Pilot's our name and progressive fun is our game.
Well, what's that about?
It's a 1-hour news show with progressive guests and information you normally don't hear on the radio.
Well, that's so exciting. I have a few ideas for guests myself.
I know they'll be progressive.
Wednesdays from 5 to 6 p.m. on AM 950.
The progressive voice of Minnesota.
You know how it is with vacuum cleaners. You buy them, you break them, then you throw them away, right? Well, not necessarily. Often, fixing your vacuum can be cheaper than replacing it. Ever heard of A1 Vacuum in Roseville? They offer free estimates. So if you wish your vacuum worked like new again, drop by. A1 Vacuum is ready to help clean up your vacuum cleaner act. Find us at a-1vacuum.com or call 651-222-6316.
I'm Richard R.J. Eskow, and this week on the Zero Hour, we'll be discussing political corruption, Wall Street shenanigans, our corporate overlords, digital dystopia, and maybe throw in a surprise or two as well. All this and more on the Zero Hour every Sunday night from 9 until midnight on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.
I'm Nick Slavic, proprietor of the Nick Slavic Painting and Restoration Company. I speak nationally and internationally on the subjects of entrepreneurship, trades reform, apprenticeship, craftsmanship, and coding science. I've created a rigorous apprenticeship program where I find, train, inspire, and mentor young people in my craft. The result is an ultra-professional crew of craftspeople that cares about their work and your project. We're not like other contractors. Visit nickslavik.com. That's nickslavic.com to learn more.
The local advertisers you hear on AM 950 are the lifeblood of the station. If you find yourself regularly tuning in, or if you appreciate the diversity of content we deliver, please take the time to support our advertisers. Even if it's just to thank them for backing AM 950, your voice and support can go a long way. Help keep the station going strong while investing in our local community. Find the complete list of on-air supporters by visiting the advertisers page at am950radio.com. That's am950radio.com.
All right, welcome back. We are coming to you for the last segment here of Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. My name is Ken Haglind, and joining me today in the main studio of AM 950 is Blair Ferguson. He's the Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility right here in the Twin Cities. Now, Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible. Their solutions can help you stay independent and spend more time at home in better comfort. So Blair, if people have questions for you or want more information, how do they get a hold of you?
Best way to reach us is through our website, lifewaymobility.com, or give us a call at 651-462-3444.
All right. Before we get back in the conversation, I want to mention, folks, if you are suffering from any chronic ailments that may be reducing your quality of life, or maybe you're just feeling stressed and overwhelmed, life can do that to you. And if maybe you've tried everything to feel better but don't know where else to turn, listen, I really encourage you, talk to the folks at Sano Wellness Center. They're located right here in Bloomington, just off 494 on Penn Avenue. They specialize in neurologic issues, and you'd be surprised at how many chronic issues can be resolved by them dealing with what's going on in your brain. And many times the root cause of your health problems is up there in your brain. So what I'm encouraging you to do is to call them and get a brain assessment. I did it, and I was just really surprised at the amazing results that they provided to me. Dr. Christine Stevie's been doing this for 17 years and is just has a great program there to help support you in optimizing your health. So their phone number is 952-681-2916. Once again, their number is 952-681-2916. Now, they focus on children, adults, professional athletes have sought out her services. So give them a chance. You can also visit them online to learn more information about how they take care of you and helping improve and optimize your life by going to their website, sanowc.com. That's SANOWC.com. All right, back into the topics here, Blair. We only have a short amount of time left. I want to make sure people have as much information that we can give them here about maintaining safety, independence, and mobility in their homes. And many times we're talking to the kids of parents because they're concerned. Sometimes the parents just don't recognize that they haven't visited the basement for 10 years or they haven't visited the second floor for several years, and they're just not maximizing the use of their home and the enjoyment of their home unless they can have people like you come in and open up access to the full use of their home. So I want to talk about cost. I know many of the services that you guys provide is sometimes triggered by a health event or some type of situation that's occurred. And I know many people have asked us too, well, does Medicare or health insurance pay for some of these modifications? Could you address that for a bit here with us?
Well, unfortunately, Medicare, health insurances typically do not cover these types of expenses. And health insurances follow Medicare, and Medicare doesn't cover typically stuff that's attached to the home or installed in the home.
But as you mentioned earlier, some of these solutions are very cost effective. I mean, they're not that expensive. You can provide very expensive solutions if there's a need for that. But many of these are, when you look at the cost of, again, selling the home, the expense of selling a home, moving to a different location, that can be traumatic. It can be a shock.
Absolutely.
When people realize that the house that they bought for $40,000, 40 years ago, now, what's it going to cost now to change that and to go somewhere else? And again, it's very frustrating for people when they have to change their locations because they're so used to that neighborhood and the friends and the social communities that they have there. So anything we can do to keep them in their home is of great value. So I know you have solutions, again, that range from a few $1,000s up to $100,000 or more, depending upon the need for that individual or that family. Let's also talk about kind of where your service coverage area is. I mean, you're here in the Twin Cities. You've been here for almost 30 years. What are other considerations that people may be looking for in terms of, can you help them at their lake cabin because they want to maintain the enjoyment of their lake cabin? How about things like that?
So we have 2 locations in the metro. We have one north location in Shoreview, one south location in Burnsville. We typically cover a 100-mile radius from those offices without batting an eye, but we have gone further out than that. We've gone north towards the cabins. It really depends what it is, or what the needs are, or what we've got available for resources. We also, in mentioning the cost, we've got different solutions for that too. New versus used versus rental, can offer financing. There are options out there to keep people in their homes.
Well, and the other thing too is, as we talked earlier, sometimes these modifications that are done actually can add some value to a property too. So it's not like it's a waste of money. It's not only going to help people again fully enjoy their home in a safer way, because the last thing we want to do is have people re-injure themselves or have a situation or an event occur that again limits them from enjoying their home. And I know that many children we talk to of parents that are in homes are very satisfied by knowing someone has come through and even identified maybe some potential safety issues or risks. And as you mentioned before, people should call you for a consult. Just have you come out to the home, walk through the home, share some ideas with what they could do, and really help make that home safer and more enjoyable for the occupants.
Absolutely. A common scenario that we run into is somebody doesn't feel that they're quite there yet or doesn't need some of these solutions. And again, trying to navigate that and help them understand that sometimes these solutions aren't just for them. They're for their loved ones, their care providers, peace of mind for their adult children. So there's a lot of things that need to be kept in mind when we're making decisions on what we're going to do or not do.
Well, and you're great because you're a great listener and you're an educator, and that's what people want. They need to know there's somebody here that's a professional that can look after their needs and their interests. Well, we are nearing the end of the show today, and I want to thank Blair Ferguson, Vice President and General Manager for Lifewaymobility. Lifeway specializes in helping people stay mobile by providing solutions to make your home safe and accessible and keep you independent. Blair, one last time, please remind our listeners how they can reach you if they have more questions or want more information.
You can visit our website at lifewaymobility.com or give us a call locally at 651-462-3444. Thank you, Ken.
Great. We hope you enjoyed today's show, folks. Please contact us with any questions or comments you have regarding today's conversation, or let us know of topics you would like for us to discuss on future shows. You can reach us by phone 24/7 at 612-999-3426. Please join us again next Saturday at noon for another live broadcast, and thank you for listening to Living Healthy and Aging Well, where we talk about your health and your life. And until next time, live well.
Singing a